Take a look at the new one. They look pretty close. Didn't want to get started. There it goes. Getting the valve in the right place here. Oh, that's tight. I'm hoping I don't have to put more tape on here, but I might. Tape doesn't really serve any purpose other than to hold the plastic on while I put it inside the container. Ta-da! Wet feet makes for a long day. Dang it. Boy, the old rooster is full of themselves this morning. Whew, worrisome. I have a feeling I'm gonna need a better way to keep these pouches from sliding across each other. All right, all right, all right. Moment of truth. These things come with a little cap on the end here. Ha! And it's sealed. That's pretty cool. Any of you knife gurus out there, I'm gonna tell you what, you can't hardly beat this thing with a stick. I mean, this thing, I love it. This thing here gets put through its paces. I mean, this is just the tip of the iceberg. I'm cutting feed bags, I'm cutting wood, I'm cutting pipes, I'm cutting cables. I mean, it just wearing it out. All I have to do is touch up that blade maybe once every 2 weeks, and that's it. I love this thing. Well, clearly the water has reached up to this level if it's going to start running out of there. All right, while this one is filling up, we're going to drain this one. Ooh, not that much. Help slow down the erosion. All right, this is our other 330. We're going to let this one drain. These two over here are 225s, I think. They are both full, so I've got plenty of water. So we're going to drain this one. And way down here, you can see our other pallets. This one will go down there. And eventually, these two will get stacked on top of these big ones, right? So we'll have a 330 and a 225 on this side. And then over here, we'll have a 330 and a 225 stacked on this side. All right, so I've run my 1-inch pipe all the way up there to my tanks, comes all the way down here, all the way down and runs back clear over to there. And then I've got this other one to connect to it. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 500 feet at least. But I don't know still that that's gonna be enough. I'm gonna connect this pipe to the back end of this one down here. And I'm gonna go straight down the hill there with it and connect to that other one. Y'all hang tight, I'll be right back. Have y'all ever had one of those days where everything is just abnormally difficult and aggravating? I'm on the verge of changing this name to 4 pastures and profanity if I'm not careful. I mean, I tell you what, I have wrestled this hose up and down this hill. Golly. You can't even see where it goes down there off the hill. Goes way down there and then kind of angles and goes down there. I came with the roadway part of the way and then cut up through the woods best I could. It is steep. Those leaves make it slick, and there's plenty of rocks on the surface and down trees and limbs and old scraggly stuff that wants to poke you in the eye. I mean, it is just an ordeal, but it is done. All that up and down the hill. I got this section here wrapped around a tree somehow. Actually, it wasn't a tree, it was a down log, and crinked it all up, and so it's basically just waste at this point. About every 6, 7, 8 feet, it's got a crease in it, and you can't really straighten it out. So unfortunately, that's gonna have to go in the trash probably. And we've got our pipe run all the way up to our IBC up there. Let's run up there and look at it. There's some more waste. Actually, I'm gonna have to reuse that here in a second. I'll show it to you. I still have to put these back on. I tried to do it the other day. My wrist was hurting so bad it just was not gonna happen. So this has got to come out. That is no longer connected. Wrist is sore again today. You see what I'm saying? Everything is just fighting me. Golly. Whew. Decided that I'm going to put 4 pallets next to this one. I was initially going to stack this one on top of that one and plumb it together vertically here on this end, and double stack those vertically down there. But looking at how the tops of these are configured, I don't know that it would work. I certainly don't want it to fall or bend or tear any of this up. I've got enough time and money invested in it already. I don't want to mess it up. It's a whole lot cheaper to just buy some more pallets and double stack, and then connect the 2 tanks horizontally here, run a line and connect horizontally down there as well. Not to mention, it's probably safer to have it down low instead of stacked, 15 feet up in the air. All right, y'all, so here's what we got. I can turn this tank on here, or I can turn this tank on here, or I can turn them both on, and I can send one or the other or both out this line into the garden. I can send one or the other or both out this line to the far end down there and connect them all together. Either way I want to go here, I can do it. Now, in my experience, using these rubber couplings, especially when it gets warm, gravity wants to make this thing sag. So what I'll have to do is come in with probably some zip ties here, bring it up to here, and just give it a little bit of support to the frames of these IBC tanks. Once we get more pallets and we get our other side stacked up correctly, we'll get it plumbed together. And then once we have that side plumbed together, we'll plumb that side and this side together so that our line comes in, fills this one, flows over, fills this one, flows down, and fills those. Gravity fed will go all the way to the height of this one here. All right, so we'll fill this tank up, then it will fill this tank up. Once it goes over here, both of those, and actually if I go 1 pallet less over there, it will fill both of those tanks up. Right, so it will only fill as high as this here on that far side. And then when it comes time for a garden, we can dump this side down a main line here. We'll have our rows running here, our furrows. And so water will come down and fill the furrows with our drip tape all the way down. From that side, it will flow down and do the same thing. And you may or may not be able to tell here on the garden, it slopes down this way, about to the middle. and then it starts back up a hill. So the low spot in the garden is really down here. So it slopes this away and that away to the middle, all the while sloping that away. So we can do 100% gravity fed on this garden. The only trick is getting water up here. Now that we've switched out our pipe all the way down, we've got 1-inch pipe. I have got a surplus of 1/2-inch pipe. I've probably got close to a 1/2 mile of 1/2-inch pipe, and that's what we're going to use to run over to our other side. Let's do it. So the way this works is this just a bite fitting in there. All right, so this will spin and spin and spin, thread on, kind of like a garden hose here. You stick your finger in there, right? It's like those old Chinese handcuffs or finger cuffs, whatever you call it, if you remember those from when you were a kid. You stick your fingers in there, and if you pull too hard, they lock in and you can't get out. Same principle here with this. We'll stick this in here. I say that, the whole thing is not plumbed together solid, so it moves on me. We'll just stick that in there, and it locks in. I cannot pull that out. All right, let me get this other side. Run all the way across here. Oh, it hurts. I can't even pull. All right, so now what that allows me to do is open that up, keep this closed, force the water to go this way and into here. And I can close, see if I close that one and close that one. These two are connected with no outflow. We're gonna open this. We're gonna open this. When water flows into here from the top, it should flow down through here, flow into there, and they should both fill up equally until we get to the top of this one, and then this one should finish topping off. Although that may cause a pressure problem in here, right? Because the water's coming in from the bottom and trying to rise. There's nowhere for the water to go. If the pressure is pushing on it, it may just blow the thing out. I'm gonna leave this. That way, if pressure does build up, it'll just push this off. Yeah, that's a better idea. So you can see we've got our inflow pipe there. It'll flow down, fill both of these tanks up until it gets to here, and then it's gonna blow this off. Once that happens, I can just come in and tighten it down because this one will be full. Good morning. Yesterday, although it was cloudy, it was warm, it was 70. Today is not that day. We went from a high of 70 yesterday to a high of 40 today. It got cold, but we got stuff to do, including this right here. Let's get something done. Big old possum. We'll go over here and check this other trap real quick. Something got that. What on earth? How does that keep happening? I don't understand. Something keeps getting in there and dragging that old animal out of there and not getting caught. I'm gonna have to dig that trap up and check it. That pan may be stuck. So last night was refrigerator clean out night. We had some old pizza, we had some beef and rice stuff that we had made, and we had some old veggies, carrots, broccoli, celery and stuff that was starting to go bad. So all that went into the garden. They've got a buffet this morning. In addition to that, any of the old eggs, well, not really even old eggs, but eggs that we get that are cracked, they just get so dirty that we can't get them clean, or they're not worth spending the time to clean. All those go back into the garden, and I put them in there and just step on them and crack them open for them and let them have at it, and they'll eat it all up. So they're going to town this morning. They just found the pineapple. See, they're still working on a piece of pizza laying here. It's amazing what they can pull apart with their beaks. I'll watch them eat sometimes and think, boy, your life sure would be easier if you had opposable thumbs. And as I walked up this morning, I saw this pile of feathers here on the outside of the fence. This pile of feathers was from yesterday. I already cleaned that carcass up. So I'm still losing 2 or 3 a week. Surprisingly, we've got water up here. I didn't think we'd had clear enough skies. I didn't think we'd had clear enough skies to pump water up the hill, but checking this container, we've got water up to about here on this one, which is going to put it up to about half full. Yeah, a little under half full here on this one. So between the two, I mean, that's a couple 100 gallons of water right there. There's some fresh mouse holes in here. What happens here? Well, it's running, but it sounds like that battery's just about dead. They act like there's no water out here. Crazy birds. While we're waiting on that water to fill up, I'm gonna break some news to y'all. I've got to have another surgery on my wrist. If you watch the channel for a while, you'll know that I put videos out, at least I try to, once a week, typically on Fridays. That cadence has slacked off significantly over the last year. It was a little over a year ago when I broke my wrist initially and had to have the first surgery, and I've been kind of hodgepodging along ever since then. I've tried to get stuff done, but certainly with the limitations, it's slowed things down, and I've gone to one video every other week, maybe every 3 weeks, depending on, one, the wrist, and two, the weather. It'll certainly be in the dead of winter. We've had a couple of cold snaps and lots of rain, and we had the holidays, and I was sick there for, actually, it took about 2 weeks to really get over to where I could function. So, you know, the video cadence has been spotty from a publication perspective. Now, over the last 4 or 5 weeks, I guess, I have been recording quite a bit. Knowing that this surgery was coming, I've been sitting on that video. I'm going to be out of commission here at the farm for the most part. I'm going to have zero functionality on my right hand for about 6 weeks. So I'm going to be left-handed it the whole time, and I am right-hand dominant. So it's going to be a challenge. It's going to be interesting. But while I am down, partially, I guess I should say, I plan to get a lot of that video edited and released. So even though I'm not going to be doing a whole lot, I should have more videos for you. However, on the tail end of that, once we cycle through all those videos and I'm still relatively incapacitated, there's probably going to be another lull. Now, I'm hoping to have the surgery done and be recovered enough so that when late March, April-ish, certainly by May, spring rolls around, I'll be back up and running. We've got plans to do a garden here this year, as you can see with all this water situation we're trying to get squared away. So once I get recovered enough, we're going to get this ground worked, or we're going to start getting plants in. I've already got seedlings, and when I say I've got seedlings, I've got probably 100 tomato plants, 125-ish kale, 100-ish lettuce plants. You know, seedlings are already started. They're about yay big right now. Peppers, some of them are just starting to come up, and of course we've got row crops coming in later, right? So green beans, okra. I've got a full summer agenda lined up. So we've ordered more birds, and I will say that the cost of birds is significantly more now than it was when we first started. When we first started with these, chicks were about $225 to $260, $275, depending on what breed you got and where you got them. They're right now $5 to $6, $7, even up to $8, depending on what breed you get and where you get them. So costs have more than doubled just on the cost of the bird alone. Of course, feed cost goes up. The cost for egg cartons and stuff, you know, that goes up. Those prices never go down. They just continue to climb. So we've got, I think I ordered 60 more layers. We've got, best I can tell, somewhere in the neighborhood of 40 to 50 still here. Hopefully we'll get through the rest of the winter with those. The first round of birds will be here, I think in March, will be the first 30. And then the next 30 won't come until August. The hope is that that second batch being in August, will mature and continue to lay all the way through the winter, along with some of these older birds that may or may not lay during the winter, and our spring birds that may or may not lay during the winter. So hopefully between the staggering of our incoming birds and our existing flock, we'll have eggs all through next winter. So we've got a lot to do coming up here the next several months. Got a lot of video to edit, and it's going to be a bumpy ride. You're going to see some swings in both production here on the farm as well as videos, but we'll get there. Certainly appreciate y'all hanging out with us. If you're not subscribed to the channel, we would love to have you join along on the journey with us. If you are a current subscriber, I can't tell you how much it means to have you follow along here. We're getting close to that 1,000 subscriber benchmark. Once we hit that, we can click that button and apply for monetization, which certainly would go a long way to helping offset some of the cost here on the farm. So if you're not a subscriber, we'd love to have you join along and help us hit that 1,000 subscriber benchmark. Y'all stay warm, stay safe, stay healthy. We'll see you soon. Bye.